Welcome back, everyone, and next up in this series is the members of your power team. Who should you be involving to make sure that you are on the path to success? The first up is your professionals, so people like your lawyers, your paralegals, your mortgage broker, engineers, architects, planners, people that can help you get the job done outside of the scope of just project management or general contracting. So lawyers would be for potentially buying, selling, and refinancing properties. In the States, you don't need lawyers necessarily to close. You can use title companies. For landlord-tenant board issues, which I love to deal with myself, but paralegals have helped me along the way, and you can outsource a lot of that to them as well. You can even have paralegals issue notices and serve things. The next up is a mortgage broker. Make sure you're working with someone who knows what the hell they're doing. There's a lot of nuances that come with investing, and you need to make sure that you know someone that is doing it themselves or have done so many deals with so much variety that they can get around all the weird things that might come up. This is not your average residential mortgage broker closing a first-time home buyer's house. Next up, if you're doing any sort of development or value-add things where you are changing use or adding floor space, anything like that, you need to be involving the engineers, architects, planners to make sure that zoning and code is met, designers, and construction planners. In general, when you're first starting, you can do a lot of this stuff yourself, but some things you need to outsource and get the professional stamp on it. Next up is property management. It's very difficult to find a good property manager, and at the end of the day, no one cares about this property as much as you. I love to build out my system so my property managers aren't as needed as they might be on other people's properties. You need to make sure that they also have their systems built out so that things aren't being left behind or falling behind schedule. At a very minimum, your property managers need to be able to talk to contractors, get quotes, negotiate quotes, manage invoices for small things that come up, or maybe turnovers between tenants. They need to be able to communicate effectively with tenants, fill out the forms, serve the forms, and make sure that they're filled out correctly. They also need to be able to walk through units when needed and make sure that they're able to document issues and let you know. They also need to be able to communicate effectively with you and make sure you have a good understanding of what's going on the property. Could be catching issues with the tenant early so that things are dealt with on time. Next up is construction management. Are you going to be the general contractor managing subcontractors in between a potential eviction and turnover? If you're not interested in doing this or simply not available, you need to find a general contractor that can manage all that work. They not only need to be able to understand how to do the work, but they also need to be able to manage timelines, budget, and people properly. I would always recommend that you pay your general contractor and subcontractor separately. Don't give all of your money to the general contractor and have them pay out the subs. Make sure you get lots of referrals and make sure that you have a good understanding of their portfolio. You want your project to be pretty much routine for them and nothing stretching their limits, especially when you're first starting. Communication is key with contractors and making sure that you fully understand what's going on the property at all times. I love using videos, pictures, etc. You can communicate digitally very easily. There's a bunch of red flags that I've listed here. There's many others. Just make sure that if it feels wrong, don't go ahead. I wanted to loop back to the mortgage advisor and broker, and this is a really important point. This person is actually one of the most critical people on your team. You need to make sure that you plan ahead and make sure that you're structuring the growth of your portfolio properly so you don't kneecap yourself. There's a couple of common mistakes that I've listed here. There's many others, but these two when you're first starting are the biggest mistakes that I see. And that's it for this one on the series. I hope to see you in the next one.